So I've always been the artsy kid. I was always the kid from elementary school, even before that, doodling and stuff like that. And then from there, I just continued. I was always in art class in elementary school. Then in high school, I was also in art class. Art has definitely been my way of expressing myself and becoming a little bit less shy. One of the best things that I love about my mom, other than her perseverance and her loving heart, is that I can talk to her about anything. I can talk to her about anyone, about anything, about whatever, and I don't feel judged. I don't feel uncomfortable. And even though I am shy, I don't feel shy. And I love that she raised me in that way, that talking is okay and it's necessary. When I was younger, I was made fun of sometimes because people said that I was adopted because I was darker than my mom. And I remember I was always sad about it in the sense of my lips because I felt like I didn't fit in. I wasn't like everyone else. And so when I would take pictures, I would always hide my lips. Or if I were to smile, I wouldn't smile too big because that means my lips would be bigger. And then from there, the dark skin issue was still an issue. It was like, if you wear dark colors, you're too dark, it's not okay. Being around people who are lighter than you and seeing people on TV, people in magazines, you didn't see people who look like me, or I didn't see people who look like me. And now looking back, it probably would have changed things in my self-confidence, I think. And not to say that it's that person's or the media's responsibility, but being able to feel like you're included or involved or seen is definitely a big aspect. In high school was probably the time where I started smiling a bit more. Maybe not always smiling with teeth, but at least showing more of an expression when I smiled. I'm still shy, I'm still that little kid, it's just I'm in a bigger body and I'm just figuring things out one step at a time the same way I was as a child. My mom is a Black queen because of all the things that she's been through, all the things that she's seen, heard, felt, dealt with. Coming to Canada as a teenager, coming to a new country, figuring things out, and then raising 2 kids on her own, of course, with the help of my grandmother. And despite all the things that she's been through, she still has a smile on her face. She's still willing to give her last penny to someone to help them, even when she needs it more. She's still willing to put herself out there, put her heart on her sleeve, regardless of everything that's happened to her. And that's why she's my inspiration and my Black queen. My mom always taught me to ask questions, be curious, see what the possibilities are. The worst case scenario is a no. And if it's a no, you're prepared before you can ask the question or see what happens. And that's guided me towards so many things. It's guided me to create these coloring books. Because if it wasn't for me asking myself, well, what if I did this? What happens if I try? Even if I fail, at least I know the answer. So doing things that spark your curiosity, as much as they're scary, they're always worth it, always. As a graphic designer, I do work for clients on a regular basis, but it was still important to do things that I loved and that had meaning towards me in my life or my everyday life. I've always loved how art and design evoke emotion. And I think that's probably why I've continued to create. But I never realized, even though knowing that I was also doing that with this project and these characters. And it kind of gave me like the responsibility to continue that conversation of representation. And it's a little scary. It's also really exciting. And it's introduced me to great people. It's opened up my eyes to so many other possibilities. And it's exciting to know that despite all the big crazy things of representation and how serious it could be, that people are coloring my pages. People are asking for my artwork. There's a little piece of me in people's homes, and it's a great feeling. I don't know if Canada's ready, but I still think it's necessary for them to see that representation is necessary and needed, and people need to be able to see themselves in books, stories, because we have this idea, because we're so nice, we're so polite as Canadians, that it's not happening here, but it is, because you hear the stories from your siblings, your uncles, your friends, of them being treated poorly because of how they look. And hopefully with this project, this coloring book, these 2 coloring books, it helps either spark that conversation or continue that conversation that representation is necessary. I'm Danielle Morel Cox, and I'm a Black queen.